I've got Brent Charlton joining me again. He's the CEO of EnWave Corporation, trading on the TSX venture under the symbol ENW. Brent, welcome back.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, Brent, so give us an update. What has changed for EnWave Corporation since we last chatted?
Since we last chatted, we were successful in securing an additional sub-license to access our technology for drying cannabis with the green organic Dutchman. So they purchased a 60 kilowatt continuous line, which should be in operation by midpoint calendar year. This is our second license for our technology. And I really look at it as being sort of the second domino pushed over, hopefully for more dominoes to fall this fiscal year for us.
Okay, so now you're going to have industry data, performance data, and that should trigger some more sales.
Correct, yeah. So our collaboration with Tilray, which was the first license that we had signed, they've collected apt quantitative data to share with the likes of TGOD and other prospects, hoping to convert them into users of our technology. The upside for Tilray is that they hold the master license, and there's a non-disclosed share of royalties generated through the production and use of our radiant energy vacuum technology.
Radiant energy vacuum technology. So take a layperson through the technology.
Hit you with the acronym there.
No, I love
it. It's vacuum microwave. So essentially, you apply a vacuum, lower the atmospheric pressure, therefore you lower the boiling point of water, and then you excite the water molecules through the introduction of microwave energy, which is very efficient at evenly or volumetrically removing moisture. This is important because for combustible product, obviously you want a higher moisture content than dried cannabis material that's going to be used for extraction purposes. So that allows the user of our tech to be precise in their drying and do it in less than 40 minutes. Yeah.
Does the process of drying using this vacuum microwave technology, does it have any negative effect on the flavor of the cannabis when you smoke it?
The terpene levels?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's loss in terpenes for any drying method. And when compared to the longer time period air drying rooms, there is a slight reduction in terpene being removed through the vapor that goes through our condensation systems. But we've created a solution for that, a terpene capture mechanism, which is going to take that fluid, a combination of the water and terpenes, which then can be separated and prospectively, as long as Health Canada approves this, added back into the original material.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So does Tilray dry all of their cannabis using your system?
They do not currently, as they have the machines on order. The first will go into their Inniskillen facility, would be sometime in March, April of this year. And the second line that Tilray has purchased will go to their Portuguese facility this summer. The TGOD machine will be installed by June, July of this year. So we have yet to have a commercially operating plant producing finished product. And obviously we're looking forward to that happening.
Sure. How does the ability to dry cannabis more quickly affect the economics for a licensed producer?
So there's a couple value proposition points through using our technology. First is reduced footprint. So they can allocate more footprint for growing, which is advantageous. Second is because of the quickness of the drying process, being 40 minutes or less. They avoid the opportunity for blight and mold to take hold in certain crops that after being harvested, which again will avoid those large, costly write-offs potentially. So those two value propositions, plus what I mentioned to you in terms of controlling that end moisture in the final product, are all important factors in creating significant value for the users, Tilray and TGOD, and hopefully more to come. And justify paying the royalty back to EnWave on a per gram basis of, call it 1 or 2 cents.
Oh, well, that's interesting. So then you said that the drying time using the machine is 40 minutes?
Correct.
What is the drying time if they were just to hang it and let it dry naturally?
The data that we've been given by our partners is between 4 and 6 days typically it will take them.
Right. That's really speeding things up dramatically.
It is. So our technology is a slam dunk for extracts, definitely. For, as you mentioned, the combustible product, that is still, I would say, in the evolutionary process, ensuring that we can still retain a level of terpene which is attractive to the user, right?
I see. So the primary use of the machine until you introduce this terpene recapture technology is going to be for extracts.
I believe so. I mean, we've gotten feedback for a few smoking panels and it's been positive. But from a scientist's perspective, if they see terpene reduction occurring, then that's
smoking panels who are testing the marijuana.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
Well,
Not me.
No, well, we're about to start a smoking panel here every week.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, well, in fact, I ordered 7 different packages of premium dried cannabis from the Ontario Cannabis Store for our inaugural segment on We're going to sample 7 brands of cannabis in a small panel and decide which one we like the best, which one has the best flavors. But we also have a machine that measures the CBD and terpene content and THC content. So what is the cost to, I mean, you say there's 1 or 2 cents per gram royalty.
Yep.
What is the additional Capex cost to any company that wants to adopt the technology?
Sure, there's 2 primary scales of machinery. A 60 kilowatt machine, which means nothing to the layman, it will do about 20 metric tons of finished product per year, running an 8-hour shift, 5 days a week, 220 days a year. Obviously you run double shift, simple math times 2. The next scale up is a 120 kilowatt unit, which simplistic will be 40 metric tons, right? And if you run 2 shifts, 80 metric tons. So when we're looking at production facilities currently, such as Tilray's and Enniskillen, 160 kilowatt will satisfy their current projected production. And the cost is $1 million for USD for the 60 kilowatt and about 1.6 million for the 120 kilowatt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And of that cost, how much is margin for EnWave? Or is that something you don't want to disclose?
Well, I won't disclose it here. You certainly look at our financial statements, but it's modest, being that the primary goal of EnWave is to build out a diversified royalty portfolio and build that to the point where the royalties cover all the overheads for our company and the excess fall to the bottom line and can be dispersed as dividends into the future to our shareholders. Okay,
This is not EnWave's sole business.
It's not. This is a market opportunity that we've seized.
Right.
We were primarily focused in the food space, consumer packaged goods, food ingredients. At the beginning of the commercialization of this technology about 4 years ago, and have had good success. We have call it 22 commercial royalty-bearing licenses with food manufacturers. 1 deal with Merck Pharmaceutical to drive vaccinations, and 2 now in the cannabis space. Having said that, understanding the need and interest in our technology, 2019, I believe that up to 75 to 80% of our machine sales are likely to be in either the marijuana or in the industrial hemp vertical.
Yeah, sure. So what competing technologies are there out there, and how do they stack up in terms of Capex, OpEx, energy consumption, et cetera?
Okay, so standard incumbents would be freeze dry and air dry. In the cannabis space specifically, I understand there's a technology out of Germany, harder air dryers, which reincorporate some of the vapor that's taken out to try and maximize terpene retention. I understand they're also limited by scale to a certain extent and have trouble going down to very low moisture content for extract purposes. So I would consider them to be a competitor in the space. Also, the standard method of cutting and hanging and letting it cure is certainly competition to our alternative. So I do envision that those who do adopt our technology will have a focus on growing their extract business into the future. So we provide them with that solution.
Interesting. I just took delivery of a 4-pod hydroponic system because I'm determined to grow my own cannabis at home, just because I can.
Yeah, why not?
And so, is there like a home scale model of your technology that we can use?
Unfortunately not. It is simple enough to use as an operator, where you don't need a rocket scientist degree, but it's certainly not a toaster. You can't just press the button and get your dried cannabis at the end of it. There needs to be a certain level of know-how.
Wow, interesting. So at this point, if we look at the global expansion of the cannabis industry, it sounds like there's a huge market opportunity for you. Have you been able to put some numbers around what the global market opportunity looks like going out, say, 2 years from now?
Right. Well, I'm probably reading the same reports as you. BMO put out one in terms of global market size for the U.S. prospectively into Australasia, Europe, and South America. It's a large market to address. I don't believe that our technology is going to meet the needs of every single manufacturer of cannabis, as they may prefer to focus mainly on the smokable product and a certain level of terpene retention. But again, like I said, we offer a tangible processing technology for those that are going to focus on extracts, and we hope to address it internationally so long as the legal environment is conducive for deployment of our machines. In the U.S., as you know, the Farm Bill passed late last year, taking industrial hemp off that list of prohibited substances. So we've now opened up conversations with certain producers of industrial hemp in California and Nevada and whatnot, and then maybe the first entry point for us being that we need to transfer the royalties from wherever they're being generated back to our Canadian entity at some point in time.
Mm-hmm. Well, sounds great, Brent. Sounds like the progress is really impressive. We're going to leave it there for now. We'll come back to you again soon and hear how more of these machines are making their way into the space. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, James.